Eala, it's been quite a thrill ride for her this last year as well. She had some great results coming from a wild card position as well. So
Alex Eala has been on an incredible ride over the past year, delivering standout results even from wild card entries. And because of her growing global fan base, there's a real sense that she belongs on center court where the biggest stages match the size of her support. And that feeling became undeniable in Miami on March 14, 2026, when the number 32 seed stepped into the orbit of Hard Rock Stadium and the crowd erupted before she had even played a single point, just 3 days after her loss to Linda Noskova. Yet instead of being treated like a player at risk of slipping, Miami embraced her like she was the main event itself, and the energy captured in those arrival videos was soon reinforced by the very person running the tournament, proving that what Alex is building goes far beyond one result. And if you've already recognized that from California to Miami, then you understand this moment carries more weight than a simple comeback because this return felt different. It carried extra intensity since Miami was the same place where her 2025 semifinal run elevated her career to a whole new level, and even though Indian Wells had just handed her one of the toughest scorelines of her recent run, she responded with calm confidence, posting composed photos from Santa Monica as if she had already silenced any doubts. And when she returned to the tournament that introduced her to the world stage, she came back with a stronger inner belief than any crowd reaction could define. And by the time the March 14th footage spread across the internet, it was clear the stage was set for a coronation rather than an apology. That is exactly why the online criticism felt so small, because after Noskova defeated her 6-2, 6-0 in the Indian Wells round of 16, critics rushed in with predictable labels like early exit queen, while trying to dismiss her 2025 Miami surge as a fluke. And while their concerns had some surface-level logic since she was defending 390 ranking points and an early Miami exit could push her outside the top 50, that perspective only exposed their limitations because they were focused on one rough performance while fans, tournament organizers, and eventually the center court schedule were reacting to something much bigger than a single bad match. And the first undeniable proof came instantly through visuals as March 14th videos flooded YouTube showing fans surrounding Alex during her Miami arrival and erupting the moment she appeared, and this wasn't casual interest. It was full-on chant-level energy before she even stepped onto a practice court, the kind of reaction tournaments dream about and critics cannot erase. And if you look at it from the doubters' perspective, they spent days highlighting a 6-0 set only to watch the next public moment turn into an entire city welcoming her like a headline act. And that contrast made one thing clear: they were already losing control of the narrative. That confidence had already been voiced by Alex herself back in Indian Wells when she said she couldn't predict the future in Miami but acknowledged that her experience there the previous year was the beginning of everything for her. And since then she had achieved much more, building confidence, self-belief, and a firm understanding that she belongs at this level regardless of whether she wins or loses early. And that mindset doesn't come from someone seeking approval, it comes from someone who has already accepted her place among the elite. And Miami wasn't some random surge either, because Indian Wells had already shown early signs of what is now becoming a pattern, with packed practice courts, growing fan energy, and an atmosphere around her that exceeded what rankings alone usually generate, first in California and then again in Miami, proving this is not luck but momentum. And for those who supported her through the ups and downs, including Dubai, the Coco Gauff upset, and the Noskova loss, Miami delivered confirmation that their belief was ahead of the noise. Because while critics were counting games, real fans were recognizing the impact she creates the moment she enters a tournament. That same impact is now being recognized on the business side as well, with her endorsement presence already expanding and new deals reportedly gaining traction because of the very quality Miami made impossible to ignore, her ability to draw attention, cameras, and emotional investment even before the competition intensifies. And markets respond to that kind of presence because players who attract crowds create their own gravity, and that leads directly to the defining moment of this entire narrative, because while viral clips and packed practices can be dismissed, when tournament officials start structuring center court scheduling around a player due to global demand, the debate is effectively over, and that's exactly what happened when James Blake made it clear that Alex would be needed on center court because of her worldwide fan base. turning fan energy into official tournament policy. And that statement carried real weight because Blake isn't just a commentator, he's a former world number 4, a top-level competitor who understands elite pressure, and now the Miami Open tournament director responsible for deciding who gets the biggest stage. And when someone with that authority reorganizes the spotlight around a 20-year-old seed because her following is too significant to ignore, it's not a compliment, it's a professional evaluation of value. And it signals that Alex Eala is no longer a side attraction in Miami but one of the main reasons people are tuning in. Now the next challenge arrives quickly with her Miami opener around March 19th or 20th, followed by key opportunities in Charleston and Madrid to prove whether this momentum continues beyond the Miami spotlight, because the future of the WTA isn't just about rankings, it's about players who energize audiences, unite global communities, and create an atmosphere before the first serve is even played. And in South Florida, the Filipino support transformed a routine arrival into a powerful statement of belonging, and the outlook is clear. If Alex delivers one more strong WTA 1000 performance in 2026, this level of center court treatment will stop being surprising and start becoming expected. And while nothing erases the loss to Noskova, Alex responded not with excuses but with composure, expressing satisfaction with her level and a focus on building momentum. And within days she transitioned from calm reflections in California to commanding attention in Miami without changing her demeanor. And those March 14th walkways, the roar before a single point, and the reception typically reserved for champions all led to one undeniable conclusion, reinforced by the tournament director himself, that Alex Eala arrived in Miami as the people's queen of the event, not because of hype but because fan support, institutional recognition, and her own belief aligned at the perfect moment. And now the real question begins, whether her upcoming match becomes the start of another deep run, or whether critics reappear at the first sign of struggle. But if you've been paying attention from California to Miami, then you already know this story is building towards something much bigger than one result, because the crowd showed you the direction long before the draw could. And while Miami may be the welcome, what comes next in Charleston, Madrid, and beyond could be the confirmation.